Everybody, PayPal and Patreon are down below if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. And as always, if you want any of the graphs used in this video or all kinds of other graphs across all kinds of different subjects, that's all freely available in a Drive folder linked in the description. And now it's time for the monthly electricity demand levels update. So, starting from the top, China remains obviously the world's largest electricity consumer, now accounting for over a third of the world's electricity usage, averaging year-round now over a terawatt of electricity demand on their national grid. China this summer came in averaging 1.25 terawatts, beating out last year's midsummer average of 1.22. The US, the second largest consumer, averaging roughly now a bit above 500 gigawatts of demand load at any given time across the US grid. Usually around 520 is where it averages out to year round, higher in the summer, obviously. And most recently, it's been coming down from the higher end where it was averaging around 575. Now, over the last few weeks, averaging 565 gigawatts. A few weeks ago, though, it did on one particular day soar upwards during a major heat wave and broke the previous demand record for one particular high load point on the grid. That record being set 2 summers ago, I believe, in 2023 at 743 gigawatts. The record this summer at the highest load point was 762, set back in July or at the very start of this month. I forgot which. India, third largest electricity consumer, averaging over 200 in present day and continuing to grow in consumption pretty quickly. This summer, though, they did not actually go up as high as last summer. Whereas last summer they went up all the way to 250 gigawatts at the higher point, because they actually got more normal amounts of cloud cover and monsoon rains this summer that had them only turn up to a higher point of 241. Russia, normally in the lower 100s in present day, getting up to around 150 during the winter higher points, and they're at the lower end of the year now and have been averaging a bit lower than last year this year, and this time came in at 122 gigawatts. Japan peaked in electricity demand up around 120 and has over time declined, similar to their oil demand decline. They've declined in electricity demand, not by as much though, down from 120 to around 100, and are tipping over now into more frequently coming under 100. This time in particular, they're at their low point of the year. Summer is when they come in lower, and they came in at 85 gigawatts most recently. Germany, Deutschland, used to average around 100. However, post COVID, over the last 5 years or so, they seem to have been deindustrializing themselves, basically going through the same process the UK went through. It's just the UK did that over the course of like 20 or 30 years or whatever. Germany has done it rather more rapidly, and they've declined down to now averaging more around, even now actually below 80. And most recently, they came in at 72 gigawatts. Canada in present day averages in the 70s usually, and higher in the winter, lower in the summer. And they came in most recently a couple months ago at 61 gigawatts of demand load. Brazil is getting close to averaging 70. They are around the mid 60s now, or starting to get into the upper 60s. And they are lower in the summer, specifically in their case because they're in the southern hemisphere. So the summer months in the southern hemisphere are actually winter. That's when the southern hemisphere is colder. So they're down at the moment at 64 gigawatts. South Korea in present day averages in the 60s, and they're plateauing out here. Will probably be following Japan downwards. For the moment, this time they came in at 61. France in present day is usually around 60, or a bit below it now. being decently higher in winter than they are during summer. And so they're at their low point of the year now, coming in at 45 gigawatts. Saudi Arabia is much higher in the summer than it is in the winter, as it's unlivably hot in Saudi Arabia, obviously, in the summer. So their AC and cooling demands, not just for houses, but also for refrigeration and commercial stuff, goes up a lot higher in the summer. Most recently, during the hottest portion of this summer, they came in averaging 67 gigawatts. Year round now, their general overall national average is around 50 or the lower 50s. They go down towards 40 in the less hot months of the year. Mexico is in the 40s or upper 40s usually. And most recently, they had come in at an average of 52 while setting a new single point record high on one particular hot day in either June or July, where they got up over 80 to, I believe it was 83. Turkey in present day is around 40 and growing. This time they came in at 36. Indonesia is continuing to grow and is going up through the 40s. Finally was able to get some indication of their most recent data, and they came in most recently a bit under 45 gigawatts of demand load. Vietnam has grown up close to averaging 40 now, and most recently they came in just under 40 at 39.8. The UK, normally around 30 in present day, as I said, they deindustrialized themselves for the most part and have gone down from averaging around 45 down close to averaging 30. And this time, most recently, over the last few weeks, they came in averaging only 26.4. Taiwan in present day usually averages a flat 30 or so, and this time they came in averaging 29.5. Italy also is mostly leveled off around 30. This time they came in at 32.8. Spain, similarly to Italy, with everything else usually stable around 30, they came in at 28.8. Australia in present day still growing just very gradually up through the 20s, closing in on averaging 30. They came in at one of their lower points of the year this year, as again, Southern Hemisphere, so things are flipped. They came in at 28.4 gigawatts most recently. Couldn't get any recent data from Thailand nor Malaysia. So moving on to Egypt, coming in their higher demand points, as it's the summer for them and they're a desert nation as well. They came in close to 27 this time for midsummer, coming in at 26.7 gigawatts versus last summer at the higher points they came in averaging around 25 and hit a new record. Last summer it was 37 or 38. This time their new record highest load point at one specific point on one particular day, almost hit 40, getting to 39.5. Sweden in present day is usually a bit under or just around 20, lower in the summer. Like many other European nations, they came in most recently at 15.7. Norway, basically same numbers as Sweden. They came in right at 15. Poland has reached about parity with Sweden and Norway usually now, and they came in at 17.2. Argentina is usually in the upper teens in present day, and most recently they came in at 16.4 gigawatts. Netherlands is usually around 13 or 14, and they came in this time at 13.8 gigawatts. The Czech Republic is usually around 8, and this time they came in at 7.2. Nigeria has grown up to averaging around 4 as of most recently, at least, but they have continued climbing and have seen new numbers over the last few quarters, coming into 4.25 at the final quarter of last year. And during the first quarter of this year, seeing them average of 4.77 gigawatts during the first portion of the year. And Kenya, the lowest one we'll go with, continuing to grow, has grown up to about 1.7, pretty close. And this time they came in at 1.68. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around and listening. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. PayPal and Patreon are down there if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. There's a link to a Drive folder in the description with these graphs and all kinds of other graphs across all kinds of different subjects. That's free to access, free to use. Any any PayPal, Patreon, or other financial support helps with the maintenance of all that data as well. There's links to my photography, my blue sky, and one in the top pinned comment to my cat's YouTube channel. May God bless and protect all of you, and I will see you all around next time.